All right, you're most welcome one more time to Cross-Cultural Experience, where I usually invite a guest, and then the guest will share his or her experience moving from probably the culture of origin to some other place. And how was that experience? What did the person learn from there? So that's the whole thing, to show us that our world is very diverse. And then when you move to from one place to another, you might experience something that might surprise you or might also excite you. It doesn't have to be a surprise all the time. Like somebody said, he didn't know that the food he was eating at home could be found somewhere else that was in another continent altogether. All right, talking about continents, this is a special location where I have invited a lady that is called, her name is Valerie. But the interesting thing is, I'm here in the United States, and the time exactly it's 9:41 p.m. on a Thursday. And I think for her it is 2:41 p.m. Is it still p.m. in the
Yeah,
afternoon? In the afternoon. Why
just
is it?
on a
Why?
Friday. Yeah.
Yes, on a Friday. So I'm still Thursday, and then she's on Friday. Okay. Having said that, you're most welcome, Valerie. Just introduce yourself one more time, and then we can start sharing your experience.
Well, thank you very much, Professor. Yeah, my name is Dr. Valerie Cooper. I'm a lecturer at Te Heringawaka, Victoria University of Wellington, here in Aotearoa, New Zealand. But I've been very lucky with my academic experience to have a few different places that I've called home for different
Okay.
universities.
Yeah.
But when you talk about cross cultures and crossing borders, I had a really direct, repeated situation of crossing borders when I was a PhD student in Hong Kong, but was actually teaching for my university across the border in China. So it happened that once a week for 2 semesters, on a Monday morning, I would get on a ferry in Hong Kong,
Okay.
go across to Zhuhai, China, go through border security, immigration, get a stamp in my passport, all of that. Um,
Okay.
and then go and teach at the satellite university there in Zhuhai, China, spend the night
Okay.
and come back the next day.
The next day?
Um, the next day, yes.
Okay.
So
Oh, I think people should know that you are not from Hong Kong, neither are you from China. You're from the
yes,
United States.
exactly.
Okay.
Yes, yeah.
All right.
And I think I was surprised. I didn't have much experience with China. I'd been in Hong Kong for a while, and so I knew Hong Kong pretty well.
Yeah.
Hong Kong, you can mostly get by um, in English with some Cantonese, things like that. Most things, it's easy enough to get around and figure stuff out and whatnot. You know, you've still got Facebook, you've still got Google, all of those things.
Right.
So it was quite a shock to me. I would be sitting on the ferry, scrolling through my social media, things like that, and everything else, playing Pokemon Go or something.
Yeah.
And then it was like you would hit an invisible force field. And then suddenly,
Oh.
Facebook didn't work, Google didn't work. My whole
Oh.
Google phone just kind of became instantly a brick.
Oh.
And
Okay.
so it was a really interesting experience. And even just going and crossing a country's border every
Yeah.
week as well. So my passport, of course, was just stamped with entry and exit visas between Hong Kong and China every
Uh,
time. So I just had
Okay.
about 10 pages of red visas.
Mm.
Um, and then, of course, it was a real learning experience for me coming from Hong Kong and being able to get around in English, reading signs, no problem. That suddenly I stepped off the ferry and, no one around me speaks English. Not many of the signs are in English. I'm only relying on my very basic Mandarin to get around.
All right.
Um,
And your
yeah,
access to whatever you were watching just disappeared.
yes. I can't use Google Maps to see where I am. So I'm
Yeah.
suddenly just like helpless as a child.
Yeah. Tell me the first time this happened.
Mhm.
What did you feel? Did you feel, I mean, hey, is the world coming to an end?
I think I mean the university on the Chinese side took very good care of me. They sent a
Okay.
driver to pick me up. He had a sign with my name on it, which was
Ah,
good because he also didn't speak English and I
okay.
didn't have very good Mandarin. So I think it was just this strange feeling
Yeah.
of also realizing my privilege as an American to travel all around the world, be able to use English, um, always be able to use Google Maps and all of the different
Yeah.
technology that I have to just get me around everywhere.
Okay.
So I think it was a really good lesson in my own privileges coming from a place that is just
Okay. All right. And
seen as default. And so suddenly I was like, well, I guess one, I need to learn better Mandarin.
okay.
um, and two, I really hope that everything goes according to plan because if something doesn't go according to plan, I
That's
have
it.
no idea. So, but it was great. Everything always worked out. And the few times when, things didn't go 100% according to plan, you realize that you can still get by without technology. You can still figure out a way to communicate with people and
With
things like that.
people. Okay. Yeah. But
Yeah.
it taught you a lesson that you need to improve on some aspects of whatever it was that you're doing, language and all that stuff.
Yeah, yeah. And to just realize how much I just taken for granted the fact that,
Yeah.
in our modern day, you can just be dropped into anywhere and you're like, well, I'll check Google to see where I am. I'll give somebody a call.
Not
I'll
not
just
so not so in China.
yeah, yeah, exactly. And it reminded me of like my first time traveling a long time ago before we had smartphones and before we had all of
Yeah.
this. And at the same time, it was almost kind of nice because then you have to look around, you have to figure out signs, you have to learn the language. Um,
Yes.
so I think that was a really nice learning experience, and I had a marvelous time teaching over there and learning how different China was from Hong Kong.
From Hong
Um,
Kong. Okay.
yeah, yeah.
Do they speak the same? Pardon my ignorance. What language
No,
did they speak in Hong Kong?
yeah, it's a very good question. So Cantonese,
Okay.
Gongtonghua, is the one
Okay.
that they speak primarily in Hong Kong.
Okay.
Um, and then it's also spoken in some parts of southern China, but Mandarin is much more common.
Right.
Um, so even there again, when I was working on my PhD, we had other students. We had international students like myself. We had
Yeah.
local students from Hong Kong who speak Cantonese, and we had students from China who speak Mandarin. And we just all spoke in English to each other because it was a language that we all had in common.
Okay.
Um, Even for the Mandarin speakers and the Cantonese speakers, the
Yeah.
Mandarin speakers couldn't speak Cantonese most of the time,
Okay.
but they could all speak English. So,
That prompts me to ask you this. How many languages do you speak?
oh, there again, I will claim English and Portuguese.
Okay.
I can get by with Spanish,
Okay.
because it's so similar to Portuguese. And for my Mandarin, I can get by.
Okay.
Because of this experience, I'm able to chat and have basic conversations and things like that.
And Cantonese, you said?
Cantonese, about the only thing I can do in Cantonese is yell at bad drivers, order takeaway food, and when they call your number on things, be able to, yeah,
Okay.
to know, yeah. But so my housemates in Hong Kong taught me all the bad words in Cantonese, but nothing actually useful.
Well, that's how we start learning the bad ones.
Yeah, yeah.
Right. Did you have any other experience you wanted to share? I'm really excited about all this moving. It's like a web. You're moving from China to Hong Kong to wherever. Any other brief experience we can share in all your
I
travels?
I think it's just even now going into China, I think I'm really pleased that what I have learned from my experiences
Yes.
continues to be helpful.
All
And
right.
but the most helpful thing is just being able to speak basic language, and people are always so excited to be able to connect and communicate with you if you know some of their languages.
All
And
right. So you do all these things, and suddenly you now find yourself in New Zealand. Any
yes,
experience when you landed there the first time? Because now it wasn't China, it wasn't Hong Kong.
yeah, no, it's a whole other world. And
Yeah.
I think here too in New Zealand, also really interesting to come in speaking English and just being like, oh, everybody speaks English here, right? But
Okay.
then to very quickly learn that actually, no, there is the native language here, the indigenous language Te Reo
Okay.
Māori.
Right.
And yeah, to just understand the full history. And it's also really amazing to be here to see the revitalization of the language. There's a
Okay.
lot of effort putting into teaching people the language and things like that. So that's also been a very, yeah, very cool
Do
experience.
you teach languages by any chance, or
No, actually, I teach international communication.
okay?
So
Okay.
there's a little bit of languages and things like that, but it's mostly just a hobby of mine, honestly.
Right. Okay. International communication. Then you had to practice it.
Yeah, exactly, exactly. Yeah. So better to be able to, yeah, to have the practical skills along with the theoretical knowledge.
The
Yeah.
theoretical. How long have you been in New Zealand right now?
I've been here almost 7 years now.
Ah, okay. All
And
right.
I only have pretty basic Te Reo Māori language, I would say. My Mandarin is still better than my Te Reo Māori, but yeah.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Yeah.
Have you gone back to China all this time?
I have actually, and there's a lot of connections between China and New Zealand. So I thought when I left Hong Kong and China that I would be done with China, but
Yeah.
there's lots of connections, lots of opportunities, and it's been really helpful in this situation because I have PhD students from China, and I've gone back on projects and programs and research to
Okay.
China as well. So it continues to be really helpful and a surprisingly big part of my life here, even.
All right. So let me ask you, at times, somebody like me, also, I mean, I travel from here to there. Where do you call home?
Oh, that's a good question. I would say home is honestly where my partner and my cats are right now.
Oh, okay.
So right here in Wellington, New Zealand.
Okay.
But I grew up in Texas, so Texas will always be a part of my home at least.
Okay, that's fine.
Yeah.
Texas happens
How
to
about
be
you?
where I am right
Yeah,
now.
exactly. So what about for you? Do you have a strong sense of home in
You
some
know,
place that you?
one of my bosses, one of them, wrote a book about. She's called Daphne Lemish. She was just writing a book that addressed the same question, and then you get very diverse. You know, kind of the conversation is very diverse. In other words, some people say, "Okay, I'm here. This is home," but I remember home like Texas. Other people say,
Mhm.
well, I've left Texas long time. I now visit Texas, but this is now my new home, you know,
Yes.
and it's a very fascinating book. You know, she wrote about people who move around, especially people who teach, people like you. And so the
Hmm.
experiences are different. Some people try to, you know, remember home by trying to go eat home food at,
Hmm.
from time to
Hmm.
time, and then recognize public holidays and all that. But then they do the same thing for wherever it is that they reside. So the concept of home becomes a little bit watered down.
It's a very good point. So a very funny experience that I have had here. I have
Yeah.
quite a few friends who are from the Northern Hemisphere.
Okay.
And so this year in July, which is winter, the coldest, darkest part of the year in New Zealand,
Oh, okay.
we got together and we celebrated Christmas. So
In what? July?
in July, yes, because
How did
Christmas,
that happen?
we just decided we all have our like our ugly sweaters and things like that, and
Ah,
all cooked big meals. We even got each other Christmas presents and put on Santa hats and things like that.
Okay.
And we sat in front of like a warm log fire,
Yeah.
and stepped outside into the cold. Because Christmas here, of course, everybody goes to the beach. It's the middle of summer, it's hot and things like that. So we
Okay.
tried to really yeah, and we realized the thing that we missed in the middle of winter when it's cold and it's dark is having, the time to
Okay.
come together and eat good food and wear warm sweaters and things like that. So
So for you, you celebrate two Christmases, one in summer, one in winter.
exactly. And then in real Christmas in December here, we go and we have a barbecue at the beach and, go surfing. So yeah. Yeah,
Yeah,
little
well,
late.
yeah, we could go on and on and on, but I want to thank you for your time. And I know by now I should be saying good afternoon to you. Mine will
Yes.
be good night.
Yes.
That shows that our worlds are like at polar ends, but it's always nice for people to travel and experience something and then share whatever it is. And at times you discover that it's still one world, no matter where you are. All right, I want to thank you again, and I want to wish you well in all your travels.
Well, thank you. Thank you very much, Professor.
Okay, bye.